In working with our clients, we understand the challenges that our application support departments are facing each day. These often include managing your customer's perception of the value of application support, as well as improving the performance of your application support function. Today's webinar on reducing incidents should help you with these challenges. And these challenges are also indicative of today's business environment. And specifically, businesses are expecting IT to deliver value. In 2003, the Harvard Business Review sparked a firestorm when they published Nicholas Carr's provocative article entitled IT Doesn't Matter. Now, in 2004, he followed up the article with a book entitled Does IT Matter? And the article really states that IT is becoming a commodity and that its strategic importance has diminished, at least in the views of the business. So as reflected here in Larry Ellison's quote, Carr suggests that business should reduce IT spending as it is getting more difficult really to gain a competitive advantage with an IT investment. But it really is much easier to put your business at a cost disadvantage. Now this book has influenced the thinking of many business leaders, and it's forcing IT organizations to demonstrate the value that they bring to the business. So as a result, IT organizations are being scrutinized more closely than ever. We're striving to be more relevant, we're trying to add value, and we're also trying to show value. And we're doing all this while keeping the business's lights on. And because IT is entwined within all major business functions, many IT organizations are starting to use service management strategies really to change the perception that IT is only about software development. And they're also using it to demonstrate value in the services that are being provided by the IT organization. So many IT organizations are successfully using ITIL Service Management as a model to demonstrate value to the business. And really, ITIL is a service management discipline that's focused on the customer and our relationship with our customer. So in this webinar, really, I want to discuss how to use this ITIL thing that everybody keeps talking about. I'd like to show you how ITIL can be used specifically to align your business, align your services better with your business objectives, manage your services better, measure your services, and also then to achieve a 20 to 30% improvement, which really translates into more work or doing that work for less cost. More specifically, I want to discuss how ITIL can be used in a practical way, and in a practical way really to reduce application incidents. So in the webinar, I'm going to show you a three-step approach that can be used to learn how ITIL can improve the delivery of one of IT's most important services, and that namely is application maintenance and support, or simply application support. So the first step is I want to provide you with a working understanding of ITIL, and specifically ITIL Service Management. And to do this, I really want to quickly review its origins and a little bit of its background. Okay, so what is ITIL? Well, ITIL stands for the Information Technology Infrastructure Library, and it really is a set of IT service management guidelines. Now, in essence, it is the definitive framework for IT service management. Now, there's other frameworks, COVIT, Microsoft's MOF, and now CMMI is also coming up with a service model. And actually, I shouldn't say now. It's been there for a while. It's starting to, it's showing more maturity. And ISO 20000 is the audit standard for IT service management. But really, ITIL is the de facto operational framework. It's the one that's most widely recognized, and oftentimes it's the one that's most widely used. ITIL originated in Britain in the Office of Government Commerce. And the current version, version 3, is really a comprehensive service lifecycle that's comprised of 5 phases. Service strategy, followed by service design, followed by service transition, followed by service operations, all encompassed within continual service improvement. Now, I want to also provide you with an alternative view or another view of the life cycle. And it really is just an unraveling of the cycle and displaying it in a flowchart format. It shows the outputs of each phase, and actually it shows each phase as a flow. So the same cycle thing, service operations and continuous service improvement. It shows the outputs of each phase, and it shows how each of these is focused on service operations. It shows also the interactions of each phase, how the one flows into the next, how it flows into the next, and then cycles back around. So it has a depiction of the life cycle, but it helps to illustrate the outputs that are used and the focus on service operations. In service strategy, the service is defined and modeled, and also here the cost of the service is defined. In service design, the service is designed and developed, and then in service transition, the service is actually implemented and its cost then is validated. Service operations is where the service is delivered, managed, and it's also where it's monitored and measured. And then finally, continual service improvement is where the opportunities for optimization are identified, and that's where they're implemented. And it also seeks to also validate the current strategy, the design, and the transition. So you see how it's a feedback to each of these phases. Now I want to summarize a more specific view of the life cycle, and more specifically, an application support view. So as before, you could see each of the phases, and you can see how each one focuses on service operations with outputs going to each. A unique thing that we noted here is that as a strategy is being developed, process requirements are being identified, and these are process requirements of the application support processes that would be followed by the operational group. So you can see strategy flows into design, flows into transition, and each of those requirements are expressed in each of the process blocks, incident management, problem management, etc. You also see here that each of these process requirements are expressed in an IT service management tool. In our case, with computer aid, it's Tracer is our tool, but any tool that would fit in this mode that is used to manage IT support would be holding these process requirements. You also note here that the tool is the key to delivering or creating the outputs and reports that are generally used by continuous service improvement to make sure that we're on track and performing to the expectations of the business. And you also see then improvement packages or feedback from continuous service improvement back into these processes. So in essence, it's the same flow chart, but very specifically targeted at application support. I want to isolate some very key elements or key elements that are very specific to application support. The first one is a service level agreement. This is a key document or a key function that is used to articulate the business's expectations for IT, and it's what IT uses to align itself with the business. In essence, there are 4 functions noted by service operations. In general, application support is made up of the service desk function as well as the application management function. Application support is made up of the classical processes that are used to manage IT services: incident management, problem management, access management, event management, request fulfillment, and also application lifecycle. You'll see here again the IT service management tool that is used to manage these processes, and also the outputs that are used that are followed from that. And those outputs reflect the activities of each of the processes, and it shows the performance of the team who is responsible for those functions. Now I wanted to focus very specifically on incident management. And this slide highlights the components that are necessary to